And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I don't know if you have your 2024 bingo board with you, but if you had, Joe Biden, the sitting president, steps down a month before the DNC on your bingo board, please go ahead and check that off. I can't believe what we're talking about tonight, ladies and gentlemen, because you saw the thumbnail, you know the title, so let's get at it. Joe Biden is going to step down. I actually don't know where to go with this. I mean, we've been saying it since forever, but now all of a sudden they all agree with us. It's a great idea. This is crazy. I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear what you all are thinking about this. Why did they do this on Sunday? Why did they do this after the RNC? Why did they do this 3.5 weeks before the DNC? Why did they do it 3.5 weeks before the DNC? Why didn't they do it back in March? Why did they do? There are so many questions, and I'm looking forward to connecting with all of you all, hearing your thoughts, all that kind of good jazz, and the such like that. But I cannot do this alone tonight. I'm sorry. I had to reach into the best live chat on the planet and get some help. So, ladies and gentlemen, with no further ado, let me go ahead and introduce to you my co-host for the night. That's right, Black Law Student is in the building. How's it going? I think he is muted. I think I muted him. Sorry about that, everybody. Okay, try it again. Black Law Student, how's it going?
Good, man. Great. Thanks for having me tonight.
Man, thank you so much for stopping through. This is to say this has been a wild day. Is that fair to say that's an understatement?
It's a wild day. Interesting day in history too.
An interesting day. 2024 has been nonstop from the ball dropping all the way to where we are today. It has been nonstop, and looking out into the future, I don't think it's going to ease off the pedal one bit until December 31st. It has been crazy. All right. So, Black Law Student, everybody real quick in the chat, go ahead and type Black Law Student. Just give him a little shout out. Let him know we appreciate him for stopping by and giving his insight. Tell us give me a high view. What in the world is going on? What has happened?
So, in my purview, I think the Democratic Party just got hijacked by Joe Biden and his plan. I think it's very interesting that he dropped out on a Sunday. I think that's very interesting.
Okay.
I think it's very interesting. It's very close to the Democratic Convention. I think it's also very interesting that the delegates that are going to the Democratic Convention are Biden's delegates. So
I agree. Now we can put on some tinfoil hats about this for sure. I mean, there could be a lot of tinfoil hat wearing going on here for sure. Because why did they do it right after the RNC? I mean, again, according to their testimony, Biden was going to trounce Trump. Well, why would you step out if you're going to trounce him? What's the purpose of that? So I do think that there's a lot of shenanigans and hijinks and lots of copium being spread around Washington, D.C. for sure. But let's go ahead and, if somebody doesn't know, let's go ahead and look at the actual infamous letter. Now, before we get too far afield, I'm just telling y'all, I am of the breed. I am of I'm an older person. I'm an old guy. Okay. I've been married to Lady Dear Woke Christian for 22, almost 23 years. I'm sorry. This is like a Dear John letter. How you gonna break up with somebody on a Sunday? How you gonna break up with somebody in the middle of literally on a Sunday, and by a tweet? You're gonna send a tweet out. And this is from his official Twitter, so it's not just like somebody sent it on his behalf. Like, this is coming from the official Joe Biden Twitter. So of course I know there's probably a paralegal or some clerk that sent it, but this is him. All right, let's go and read this thing. Here we go. My fellow Americans, over the past 3.5 years, we have made great progress as a nation. Corey, how do you feel about the great progress that they've made as a nation so far, Harris and Biden?
Comical.
Yeah, but we're gonna dig in a little bit more. Okay. Today, America has the strongest economy in the world. Okay. There's a lot of copium. There's a lot of copium going around Bro, they selling copium they talking about the water fountains up in DC. We've made historical investments in rebuilding our nation and lowering. Listen, this is the part that I just don't like. And I'm going to talk through it. I know if you don't like it, I got you. The things that he's talking about as successes, as W's, are things that the government shouldn't be doing to start with. I'm sorry. The government should not be involved in the things that he's about to talk about. And I say this all the time. I mean it. As sure as my name is Jason, dearwokec@gmail.com. The government should not be involved in these types of matters. Let me explain what I'm talking about. Our nation in lowering prescription drug prices for seniors and in expanding affordable health care to a record number of Americans. Those are two things that the government should never have been involved in the first place. But watch this. He doesn't talk about things that really do bother the Main Street America. Like, for example, the border. For example, the price of gas. Those are not things that they're going to talk about. Prescription drugs, healthcare for all Americans. Okay, if your healthcare has gotten better, then, add a chat, put better in the chat if that's the case. Let's keep going. We've provided critical needed care for millions of veterans exposed to toxic substances. What about this? What about the vets that are homeless, that didn't get exposed to toxic substance, but came back injured, maybe with injuries that you don't see? Joe, what about them? I'm just wondering. Passed the first gun safety law in 30 years. What is that? What is that? What is that? A gun safety law. What is he talking about? I have no idea what he's talking about, but let us continue. And here we go. Watch this. Appointed the first African-American woman to the Supreme Court. Why is that not? I appointed the most qualified person on the planet to be Supreme Court justice. Because he didn't select the most qualified person on the Supreme Court to be the Supreme Court justice. Your W is that you selected somebody because of something that they had no stake in, their ethnicity and their skin color. But this is your letter, Joe. And passed the most significant climate legislation in the history of the world. I'm going to tell you right now, again, my name is Jason, dearwokec@gmail.com. Please feel free to email me. You can catch me outside. We can fight about this. Human beings cannot change the weather. I'm sorry. I know you feel good about that. I know it makes you feel big chested when you spray orange paint all over the Lamborghini dealership or hot glue yourself to the ground at Heathrow Airport. But please understand, human beings don't change the weather. This is going to be a hot take. Please understand. I know you're going to get in your feelings, dearwokec@gmail.com. I'm just going to tell you right now, the Lord God determines weather. So if it's hot here in Georgia and dry in Arizona and rainy in Somalia and tornadoes in the Philippines, the Lord oversees all of that. You and myself did nothing to it. I'm sorry. We do nothing to change the weather at all. So this argument right here that you've passed some significant climate change legislation is actually a moot point because you didn't do anything. We don't do anything to it and we can't legislate it. I'm going to continue. America has never been better positioned to lead than we are today. If that's what you believe, Joe, okay. I'm whatever, Joe. Whoever wrote this, whatever. There's no way that I can make you believe what is clearly right in front of your face because we've been telling you for better than 3 years that Joe Biden was not qualified and was not mentally there to be president, but y'all couldn't see that. And now look where we are. I'm sorry. Now look where you are, Democrats, because I was never there. Let us continue. Let us go. I know none of this could have been done without you, the American people. Together, we overcame a once-in-a-century pandemic and the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression. Okay. Because I don't know. I don't know. Some people like myself, I might be willing to go back to the pandemic and the economic crisis because I was only paying $1.50 in gas. Now I'm overpaying almost $4. I'm just saying. If that's overcoming, then I don't know, man. Build back better. I don't know what you built back. Let us continue. We've protected and preserved our democracy. Again, we're not a democracy. We're a constitutional republic. I know that's a new phraseology for some people, but we're not a democracy. We're a constitutional republic. And we've revitalized and strengthened our alliances around the world. You think our alliance around the world in Afghanistan is better? How about Israel and the Middle East? How about North Africa? Can you name, what about Europe? I don't know many places that we could say. Maybe Venezuela, because we've accepted all of their criminals and all of their people out of their asylums and all of that. They've emptied out. They've seen a reduction in crime in Venezuela. I guess they probably cool with us. But let me continue. It has been the greatest honor of my life to serve as president. You know, Corey, do you want to pick this up? I don't want to just keep reading and cracking bad
No,
jokes.
look, no, you go ahead. I love the
Okay.
commentary.
It has been my greatest honor. It has been the greatest honor of my life to serve as your president. And while it has been my intention to seek reelection, I believe it is the best and it is in the best interest of my party and of the country for me to stand down and to focus solely on fulfilling my duties as president for the remainder of my term. What happened to bring this about? Because please keep in mind, you was big chested with George Stephanopoulos just about 2 weeks ago. You was strong and proud during your mix-ups and foibles, talking to President Putin and Vice President Trump at your big boy conference. You were okay. You were messed up all that time, but you was big chested. I'm not stepping down. What changed? What changed? I think what changed is that RNC did not go like y'all thought it would. I think because you all tried to point out the fact that George Bush wasn't there or McCain wasn't supporting or Pence wasn't supporting, and you saw the writing on the wall during that RNC last week that, you know what, these people really do support this guy. This is not a good look. We've got to scuttle the ship now, lest we become Titanic 2. Since, Hollywood can't put out any new movies, they got to come up with rehashes of old movies. They're going to come up with Titanic 2, and it's going to be your presidency. So you try to scuttle it, and watch this. And I'm telling you why. Read the next sentence. I will speak to the nation later this week in more detail about my decision. So instead of holding off to talk about this, when you can do a presser, when you can do a camera facing Discord, you would rather send a Dear John letter. It's not you, it's me. And say, don't worry about it. I'll come back later and get my stuff. Don't worry. I'll just come back and pick up my stuff, and we'll talk then. Is that really what you want us to believe? I'm sorry. The whole point of this is to keep this thing in the zeitgeist. The whole point of this is to keep it in people's minds for the rest of the week so that you can continue to ride this wave, because the goal is to take a lot of the steam off of the RNC. That was a success last week. It was a security success. It was a energizing your base success. There were a lot of W's that they collected up there in Wisconsin last week, and you all did not expect them to be that well done. That's the problem. What are you about to say, brother?
No, I was about to say, this has to be the biggest negotiated deal in American history.
Oh, no question about it.
They
No
had to
question.
negotiate something for this man to step aside. This had to be the biggest negotiation deal in American history.
No question whatsoever. Let me get going and finish this up, because I know you have some great things you want to add to it. Continue. For now, let me express my deepest gratitude to all those who have worked so hard to see me reelected. I want to thank Vice President Kamala Harris for being an extraordinary partner in all this work. And let me express my heartfelt appreciation to the American people for the faith and trust you have placed in me. I believe today what I always have, that there is nothing America can't do. When we do it together, we just have to remember we are the United States of America, signed Joe Biden. Did this need to be sent out today, do you think?
No, it definitely didn't need to be tweeted either.
So let me ask you a situation. Let's say he decided to resign today, but he said, you know what? I got to get in front of these people. Hop me up on Adderall or whatever they hop them up on, copious amounts of copium. And Wednesday he does a presser, or Thursday he does a face the nation or speak to the nation, whatever. And basically explains this. Would that have been better, or do you think this is the best way to go about it? And they could have been already planning. They could be planning from today till then, behind the scenes. But in the foreground, none of us know what's going on. What do you think?
I think this probably need to go about this way, believe it or
Really?
not. Because Because I think there's a lot of legal questions that needs to be answered before he speaks out his mouth to the nation.
So if he, so I'm just wondering, okay, let's say, because I know you and I have talked behind the scenes, and I do want you to talk about those legal issues that you mentioned. What if they said, again, Sunday, he's sitting down and say, hey, y'all, I'm about to call this. I'm about to call this in, phone this in. And they said, well, hold on, Joe. There's some legal issues that we need to discuss. Just stay, because he hasn't been campaigning, I heard. So, because he has a C-19. So he can still be phoning it in. He didn't have to put this letter out today. But if he popped up on Thursday and they say, the president's going to speak to the nation, address the nation Thursday at 9:00 Eastern Standard Time, whatever. And then they've already cleared up the legal issues. They already know what's going on. And then he could actually say what he's going to say in the next tweet that we're about to read about President Harris or Vice President Harris. What do you, does that make sense or remind? Because I just don't think this is, I don't think this is a good. Say it again.
No, that makes perfect sense.
Because I just don't think this is a good look. I don't think this is not engendering strength. This does not come across to me like, man, they know what they're doing. This is just you sent a tweet out, my guy. Is this how millennials break up now? Is this how they break up? They just like send a tweet or an Instagram post? Like me and so-and-so not together. Hey, dear America, it's not you, it's me. This is crazy. It's sorry.
Not patriotic. I would say that. I would expect breaking news, the President of the United States to speak from the Oval Office.
Yes. Now, assuming they got all their ducks in a row, I do understand there's some ducks in a row situation that needs to go on. But assuming to me, they don't seem like they got their ducks in a row.
No.
And so imagine even now, because you're going to, you know what, let's just go ahead and talk about it. Because I know you and I talked about this right here. And this is Joe Biden affirming Kamala Harris. This is, again, another tweet. Again, Twitter can be good, Twitter could be bad, but I'm sorry. This doesn't seem like the right way to do it. Like, are we doing job offers this way now? Is this how they're doing it now? Like, I don't get it. And maybe I'm being petty. Maybe I'm just being completely asinine, and I don't get how the new kids are doing it. I'm not hip on what's going down. But this doesn't seem like the right way to go about it. What do you think, Corey?
Unless there's something wrong with the president that they're not telling us about his health, where he cannot get on camera and cannot speak to the nation.
Now, that's where my little tinfoil hat was going. That's exactly where I was going with it. But
might be
still,
support.
Even in that, I'm sorry. Even in that, I still think it needs to be addressed face to face. If he, has, slipped into a coma, like, God forbid, if he had slipped into a coma, what would they have done? Would they have sent a tweet out?
Maybe.
I don't. Well, that's true. Okay, let's remove maybe. What else could they have done? They probably would have assumed responsibility. Harris would assume the presidency and face the nation and address the nation in the state of the former president, who's now slipped into a coma. And is that Rule 25 that he's incapacitated?
Yep.
Okay, so why not just address the nation? To me, this creates entirely too much speculation. There's no, again, I don't know what Democrats are feeling right now, especially when we talk about what you talked about earlier, and we're going to talk about with this. As I get done reading this, I would love for you to explain why this is a problem. To me, I'm just like, y'all could have did this so much better. And it would have brought, I guess, comfort to the Democratic Party, because nobody else is shaking in their boots but Democrats in this regard. But what were you about to say?
No, I think the Democrat elite, I think corporate media, billionaire donors pressured him to do this. That's my little spill in my tinfoil hat. I think it's because he's down in polls and is losing, and the money's going to dry up.
All right, let's keep it going. My fellow Democrats, I've decided not to accept the nomination and to focus all my energies on my duties as president for the remainder of my term, which is 4 or 5 months, roughly. Well, I guess it goes through January. So is that yeah, let's say 6 months for laughs and giggles. The president for the remainder of my term. My first decision as the party nominee in 2020 was to pick Kamala Harris as my vice president, and it's been the best decision I've made. Today, I want to offer my full support and endorsement for Kamala to be the nominee of our party this year. Democrats, it's time to come together and beat Trump. Let's do this. What's your problem that you have with this, or do you have any problems with this?
I don't know if legally they can do that. That was
Wait, what do you
my
mean legally can they do this? What do you mean legally they can't do this? What do you mean?
so, and I'm just going based. I took time. We talked offline. I read the Democrat convention bylaws, and under their bylaws, which I'm reading now, it says the DNC adopted a good conscience rule in 1980. It has not been overturned as of 2024. The Democratic National Convention, all delegates must vote for the party that brought them to the convention from the primaries.
Okay.
So what does that mean? That means that all those delegates are Joe Biden's delegates. The voting, the primary has already happened. So therefore, they're going to have to have emergency meetings sometime this week to move those delegates to support Kamala Harris, or this to me is going to be challenged in the Supreme Court. I don't think they can do this.
I got you. Let me ask you a question. Do you think that Kamala Harris is actually going to be the nominee?
Yes and no. I think they set it up in a way that they're going to try to sell this on Monday, that who's going to raise their hand as the Democratic convention and say that they want to go against the first black female president. I think that's going to be the selling point, and that's going to scare some people into a corner.
Okay. Okay. I can see it going, but because somebody mentioned it, Kamala Harris is extremely unpopular. Extremely unpopular. Now, whether or not you accept her because of her ethnicity, whatever, that's your choice, that's your decision. But as it relates to her likability and votability, there's a lot of people that are not willing to hold their nose to vote for her. So, because there's a lot of problems that she's brought in, and all the RNC has to do is just keep bringing back the border. That's all they got to do. If they just keep bringing up the border, it's a wrap. Because nobody else cares
She's not
about climate.
popular.
Say again?
She is not popular.
She's not. So she can talk about female reproductive rights and saving the sea turtles in North Africa, but people are like, yo, we have issues right here stateside that they're just ignoring. They're not talking about gas prices. They're not talking about safety in our cities. They're not talking about things that really do impact Americans. They're talking about globalist things. They're talking about things that impact the world. Now, sure, we don't want to be a bad neighbor, but on the same note, I'm sorry, I'm not worried about what's going on there if my house is on fire. And I'm sorry, they're going to lay all of this. Because please keep in mind, Kamala Harris is currently Joe Biden's vice president. So she can't say that she's not been tied inextricably to Joe Biden. She's part of the Flim Flam show that has lied to us for, dare I say, 3 years, probably longer, that Joe Biden is in good health. She's been there lying.
She can't run from the record.
Say again?
Can't run from the record.
She can't. And I'm saying she can't sit there and say that, well, I didn't support this. Ma'am, this is your president. What are you talking about? This is your president. You're the vice president. You are just as tied to this. This is Harris-Biden policies in play. So when we go to the gas station, we can talk about Biden. We can talk about Harris. When we go to the grocery store, talk about Biden. We can talk about Harris. Everybody. I mean, there's no way to untether herself to this. And to me, I think it's going to be a fool's errand to run her. But I think they realize that they're in an elimination box type of situation where they got 3 individuals in a triangular formation and all of them are pointing weapons at them. You got a group of people that say, you better run Kamala. You got a group of people on one side that say you need to pick somebody else. And then you got a group of people over here saying, I didn't vote for you to do this. Why is Joe stepping down? And all of them are training their weapons at you. And there's no way to get out of it. Because if you drop Harris out of here, you got the other two that are going to, I'm sorry, if you pick somebody else that's not Kamala, you got the Harris, where's Joe Biden crowd that are going to be incensed. If you stick with Joe, you've already now told him that he's not capable of working. So everybody's going to have a problem with that. There's no way that they've put themselves in a trick bag.
But also, let's say this. When she was running for president, there was 2 other candidates that had better numbers than she had.
Facts. Okay, did they have a true primary this year? I didn't think they had a primary.
No, and who she ran against Joe Biden?
No, I'm saying, like, did they have a primary this year? Did the Democratic Party have a primary? No, they didn't have a primary. So there's nobody. Go ahead.
They had primaries, but they elected to not hold pretty much a formal primary. They didn't want to put another candidate up against Joe Biden.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. Okay, so they didn't have, like, again, the team, the field of 8, whittle it down to 3, whittle it down to 2, then you get one major candidate. They didn't do that, so they don't have an option. So they don't actually have a bench. They don't have a roster of people that they can look back at and say, well, this person pulled, had the second most votes, or this person had the third most votes. So therefore, we can at least look back and say, well, let's tap this person. They don't even have that. So if they go with Kamala, if they go with somebody outside of Kamala, it's going to be somebody that people never even considered. Nobody even knew as a name or even considered in that respect. This is going to be a dumpster fire. This is going to be...
Unless they go back to the 2020 bench.
Go ahead. Tell me what you mean.
We have to go back from the 2020 primaries and pull somebody that has recognition that was running against Joe Biden.
Who was... Because Kamala was like third, right? She wasn't even first. She wasn't even like second.
You got Pete Buttigieg. You have Elizabeth Warren. Bernie Sanders. Never will happen.
That's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Do you think they're going to have a candidate before they get to the convention?
Legally, they will have to.
All right. I think I agree with you. I'm just trying to figure out how they can dramatically get as much drama out of this as possible. So for all this week coming up, everybody's going to be holding their breath for when Biden is going to speak. Maybe he's not going to speak. He's going to be incapacitated or whatever like that. But maybe he'll speak, maybe he won't. But all this week, everybody's going to be holding their breath about that. Then there's going to start a countdown the week next, 2 weeks to the convention. Who's going to be the next candidate? That's going to be their voice for the following week. And maybe then we'll get a better gauge on where Biden is and so on and so forth. But out of the blue, somebody, I don't think it's going to be Harris, I really don't, is going to pop up and become the presumptive nominee. And then they're going to go into the convention and they're going to do a whole bunch of horse trading in order to get this person to get that nomination from all of the delegates that were at one point Biden delegates. And now they're going to become this new person's delegates he's going to ride into the convention on a white horse to save the republic. And it's going to be a complete and utter dumpster fire, because all the while the RNC has everything, all their ducks in a row, and they're just chomping at the bit for who you're going to put in front of them so they can have their way.
I think that's what scared them this week, is the RNC.
I totally agree. The RNC did not go like they thought it would. Did not go at all like they envisioned. All right, let's see real quick. Wait, hold on. Okay. Breaking news all over the place. Somebody just sent me something. I'm waiting to see, get confirmation of it. Yeah, like who wants to? There's a good question that's going around. Who would be her? Let's just pretend that Kamala Harris is the president. I'm sorry, presidential nominee. Who's going to be her vice president?
I think you're going to have to get a senator or a governor at this point of the conversation. People talk about Governor Newsom out of California. A very popular name across this country is Pennsylvania's Governor Josh Shapiro.
Okay, yeah,
You
yeah.
know, those might be, you know, they need Pennsylvania. So that's a good, you know.
I'm not going to tell no jokes about Pennsylvania. I'm going to leave Pennsylvania alone.
Yeah,
No,
really
the
Pennsylvania.
DNC is on the 19th of August. So technically they got about 3 weeks. And yeah, about 3 weeks, give or take. And I just figured this week they're going to be holding their breath about, you know, when Biden is going to speak, what Biden's going to say, so on and so forth, pontificating. So now they've now secured the news cycle. Everybody's talking about that. Nobody's talking about Hulk Hogan ripping his shirt off, or nobody's talking about Trump with the bandage on his ear. Everybody's going to be talking about this stuff. So I think now we're looking at like an extended October surprise. Like literally every week is a new October surprise, from, you know, getting shot at, going into the RNC. Now we got Biden stepping down on the tail end of the RNC. And I think they're just going to try to find ways to continue to steal the news cycle or master the news cycle with news, good, bad, or indifferent, all week until the DNC. What do you
They
think?
need a story. They need a story. They need a story. You know, you have tomorrow, I believe, the Secret Service
That's
directors
right.
testifying on Congress. You know, they need a story. This is going to be a bad week for the Democratic Party.
I don't see how it's not a bad week, a very, very, very bad week. Let's just say month, because it's the I think the RNC really messed them up. And, you know, maybe you didn't watch it. Again, I did watch it. Good gracious. However, though it was really long, and I think there was a lot of rehashed statements, it could have been considerably shorter. The RNC showed something that I don't think people realize, is that people really do support this man. This is not a fluke. It is not just a passing experience. People really do support Donald Trump. And I think that last night, when they spent a lot of time helping people realize that this is a man, just a human being. And I think that really messed up the zeitgeist and really messed up what they thought. If he had come in there, you know, not coming across as human, not coming across as likable, you know, his dad and a grandpa and all this stuff. If he had not come across like that, I think it would have been different. Because remember, Joe Biden was winning. He literally was winning, allegedly. So why would you step down if you're winning? It makes no sense.
It was a big patriot theme type
Oh my gosh,
RNC.
yes. There's no way they would have topped that. There's no way the Democratic Party would have topped that. So they were already lost in the patriotic theme category, hands down. But you know, hey, I would love to have seen how it would have shooken out. But let's talk about Kamala. Kamala now is saying it. You know what she said, Corey? She
President
said,
Biden, you saved democracy in 2020.
Now you have a chance to do it again.
It's time to pass the torch and let us choose a new nominee.
One who can bring new energy, new hope.
And make sure Donald Trump never gets near the White House again.
Our country's future is in your hands.
So please, be the leader we know you are. Pass the torch, Joe.
Pass the torch.
Pass the torch.
Pass the torch.
Pass the Torch is responsible for the content of this advertising.
all right, I just want to jump in and show that for a hot second. Did you see that?
Yeah, that's crazy.
So
they were ready for
they were already ready for this. They were already ready for him to fold. They were already asking him to fold. So you've been donating money to these people in the name of Biden and Harris, and there's literally planning for him to step down and wanting him to step down, begging him. And please understand, you've noticed a theme in all of their back and forths. It's very little about Step down, Joe, so we can make America strong. Or step down, Joe, so we can continue to grow America as a leader. Step down, Joe, so that America can be the shining beacon on a hill. It's step down, Joe, so we can beat Trump. That's it. Like, we don't care about, $5 gas. We don't care about the price of eggs. We don't care about the border or drugs or anything of that nature. Just step down so we can beat Trump. That's it. Okay. All right.
One thing that I learned is that Democrats will destroy democracy in pursuit of power.
For sure. For sure.
There you go.
I got you. All right. Let us look at what Lady Harris said. All right. So she says that she intends to earn. She is going to earn. How is she going to do this? She's going to earn and win this nomination after Biden drops out. All right, Corey, what do you think about her earning somebody's vote and earning the W at the nomination? What do you think?
Like I said, they're going to have to sell this, and I think they already start selling this. So, this is going to be one of the biggest sales pitches in the world.
All right, let's see it. Vice President Harris on Sunday said she intends to earn and win the Democratic presidential nomination after President Biden stunningly dropped out of the race and endorsed her as his successor. Should we be worried at all that a lot of the Democratic luminaries have not chimed in? Obama, Nancy Pelosi, the head of the House, head of the Senate, have not chimed in their support? Should we be worried about that?
I think so. I was watching a couple of news outlets, and one thing that I noticed, Hakeem Jeffries, Schumer, you look at their statements, no one's talking about putting their support behind Kamala Harris. They're just saying, thank you, Joe, for what you've done. Nobody's putting their support behind her yet. That's interesting.
Yeah, I think that's very interesting. And being the fact that they already knew it was coming, so it's not like they were surprised. There's no way you can convince me that Jeffries and Schumer didn't realize that they'd learned about it when the tweet came out. I'm not going to believe that. So they knew this was coming. So did they not know where it was going to go to? Okay, not a problem. I continue. I am honored to have the president's endorsement, and my intention is to earn and win this nomination, she said in a statement. Over the last year, I have traveled across this country, talking to Americans about the clear choice in this momentous election, and that is what I will continue to do in the days and weeks ahead. I will do everything in my power to unite the Democratic Party and unite our nation to defeat Donald Trump and his extreme Project 25 agenda, she added. Okay, I'm just going to say it real quick. Trump has never endorsed the Project 25. You all put that out there, and now you all think that somebody's going to have to justify or whatever like that. Please understand, nobody's supporting the Project 25. That's it. If you find a point, you please timestamp it, send me the video, dearwokec@gmail.com, where Trump says he supports Project 25. I'll wait, but it's not going to happen because he hasn't. So this notion right here is just completely and utter bupkis. But this is what they're going to do because she's not going to. She doesn't say that she's going to do anything right for America. All she's going to do is beat Trump in the Project 2025. That's it. Like, what are you going to do? What is your energy policy going to be? I would love to hear. What's your border? Somebody should ask her, what's her border policy? And do you endorse the previous administration's border policy? That would be so snarky.
Oh, yeah.
Biden withdrew from the 2024 race earlier on Sunday, announcing he will no longer seek another 4 years in office and then endorse Harris as his Democratic Party's nominee after not initially endorsing her in his letter announcing he was dropping out. The vice president thanked Biden for his decade's service and said his remarkable legacy of accomplishments is unmatched in modern American history. Okay. She called his decision to back out of the race a selfless and patriotic act. I wonder why. Like, why should he back out if he was already going to collect the W? He was already winning. Apparently, according to polls, it was, 46-47. Biden had, erased the bump from this election or after this debate and so on and so forth. Why step down? Why step down? You was already going to win.
Sure.
Okay. And she recalled first getting to know Biden through his late son, Beau, who was Attorney General with Harris. I think this is adorable that they will never stop mentioning Biden's deceased son. They will find some way to bring that man up in every single conversation. He brought him up at Morehouse when he did graduation. He brought up his son. It is completely, again, I don't really have a dog in the race. I just think it's adorable if I kept bringing up my deceased whatever in every situation, whether it be your son motivated you to run for president or whatever. He just, every recollection that he brings up has his son Beau in it. I just think that's interesting. We have 107 days until Election Day. Together we will fight and together we will win, Harris said. Allies of former President Trump went on the attack against Harris immediately on Sunday after Biden endorsed her. I'm sorry. I don't know if we use the word attack too much. We use the word attack entirely too much. Sure. It's a right word. It's a right word, but it's a trite word. And I think it's fair to say it no longer really has the value and the gravity that it had before. No, they're literally criticizing somebody or addressing the fact that, you're the worst president in the United States, vice president. There's no way that you can untie that. So you're going to be stuck with that. But did you have something you want to add to that?
No. You're right on the money with that.
Kamala Harris is just as much of a joke as Joe Biden is. Harris will be even worse for the people of our nation than Joe Biden. Trump campaign senior advisor Chris and Susie Wiles wrote in a memo, Biden's full support of Harris to be at the top of the ticket gives Democrats a clear successor with weeks to go before the convention, but her becoming nominee is not inevitable. All right, I think this is kind of where you were going to. Democratic National Committee Chair Jaime Harrison on Sunday said that the party will go forward this week with selecting a nominee, but not mentioning Harris specifically in a statement. In the coming days, the party will undertake a transparent and orderly process to move forward as a united Democratic Party with a candidate who can defeat Donald Trump in November. Again, your goal is to defeat Trump, not to make America a better place, not to fix issues and problems that are going on in the United States. All you're worried about and all you're focusing on is defeating somebody. I think this is going to really end itself. I'm really looking forward to the DNC, truth be told. I know I said it before. I would love for DNC to be this week because I think watching it and hearing what is their point? Are they looking to the future with hope? Are they looking to the future with some kind of with feelings that something's great to be accomplished? Or are they just looking to November 5th? Fine, November 5th happens. You beat Trump. What are you going to do now? Continue to do the things that you've been doing? Why did they vote for you? All right. Our delegates are prepared to take seriously their responsibility in swiftly delivering a candidate to the American people. What you think? What if somebody rolls in there and says they want Gavin? What if somebody rolls in there and says they want somebody else? What do you think?
I think that's when they're going to try to hijack. Or who's going to stand up against the first black female president of the United States? And that's how they're going to get everyone to shut up and allow her to take position.
Okay.
Don't be surprised. You'll hear that this week.
Okay. I don't doubt it. Sadly, I don't doubt it. But on the same note, sadly, I just want to see a good campaign. My king is never up for debate. He's never has to step down. He never has to worry about being primaried. So I just enjoy watching it and seeing the political theater play itself out. I just want to see a good political theater. That's it. Harris has been a staunch supporter of Biden amid the political fallout since his dismal debate performance last month and led to calls from around 30 Democrats for him to step down, or rather step aside. I do think it's very bad that she knew, if anybody knew probably the state of Joe Biden, it was probably going to be Kamala Harris. And she was complicit in his stay in the race. He's fine. Nothing's wrong. Don't look at the man behind the curtain, all that kind of stuff. So therefore, she's just as bad as anybody else. That's not a good look. What you think?
No, I think, it's the same thing, not to pivot for just a second, but this has happened before, this happened in American history
Hmm.
way before. Think about when Lyndon Johnson, 1968, dropped out, right?
Hmm.
It kind of screwed up the Democratic Party, even though you were right. It happened so earlier, March, April, he dropped out. It destroyed the Democratic Party and it gave Nixon the torch.
Correct.
Now that happened 7 months before the election. Think about what's happening 7 weeks or less than 7 months before the
Correct.
election. They're
Was it
giving
7 months
this.
before the election or 7 months before their convention, which was in Chicago, by the way?
Yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. That's true.
Um,
Yeah,
no,
seven
I
months
think that's
before their convention.
right. So again, this is just the comparison to LBJ. I don't think is the same, and I think that's what you're driving is that LBJ and this is not the same. They are not like us. This is a whole new ball of wax that it makes no sense whatsoever. I see somebody mention something that I'm gonna play in a minute. Um, let's bring this back. Keep going. She continued on the campaign trail, most recently campaigning in North Carolina, and has been a leading voice out of the Biden administration on reproductive rights issues this campaign cycle. Let me just ask you a question. Is that really the let's pretend that the right to delete little people in the womb is a real constitutional right. Let's just pretend. Is that the biggest, most pressing issue for Americans? Is that she's a leading voice in the Biden administration on reproductive rights in the campaign cycle? Is that what everybody's worried about? Man, I sure wish I could vacuum out a little person out of somebody's womb. Is that really what they're worried about? Is that
No, I think
truly?
the price of food and other things. I just went to Trader Joe's and people are complaining about prices of things. It's not.
That's
No
what I'm
one's
talking
talking about
about.
the price at the supermarket right now.
Right. I'm like, again, let's just pretend like that's really, but is that your marquee into, that's why I keep telling people like the Democratic Party is not a party of life. And you can catch me outside, dearwokec@gmail.com. Matter of fact, I might even drop the link tonight. We can just go ahead and chop it up tonight. The Democratic Party, their policies, their platform are anti-life. This is literally the anti-life equation being played out in 4K in your face. So catch me outside if you have a problem, disagreement with what I said, dearwokec@gmail.com. I got no problem with defending my point, but literally this is what she's excited about. This is the point that the Hill can say that she's dedicated her campaign to is the right to delete little people. And let me also say something else since I'm being super petty about Kamala Harris already. Let me just go ahead and say this. Let me get full screen, big screen. Big screen. Matter of fact, you know what, Corey? I'm gonna do this big screen. I ain't gonna let you even have to take the smoke for this. Big screen. Y'all are accepting a woman who herself has never had a child, who herself has never carried a baby, to sit there and tell y'all to delete your own children, and then to have the unmitigated gall to run on a campaign, a presidential campaign. Not the president of Planned Parenthood, the president of the United States. And this is what y'all are campaigning on. Y'all get ready to collect the L of all L's. I'm gonna, and I don't even care. And I am going to laugh at y'all if y'all run this woman. I'm sorry. My name is Jason, dearwokec@gmail.com. I don't care. I'm going to make fun of you. If y'all run this woman, I am going to make so much fun of you because you deserve it. This is an unmitigated failure of your, and please call me, dearwokec@gmail.com. Call me and tell me how you got the moral high ground over anything that Trump has done. Tell me how you have the moral high ground when your president and now your presumptive nominee is running on the platform of possibly running a platform of munching up babies in the womb. Catch me. Please tell me, please tell me how you are morally superior to somebody that sends out mean tweets. I'll wait. Show me how you're morally advanced. Please. Okay. I just had to get that off my chest. And I had to do that because I got another good one lined up on the back. I had to do that to get my other clip ready because I got a good one for you. I don't know if you've even seen this one yet. But Corey, what do you think about that so far? Where are you at with that?
I think you're right. I think if she becomes a nominee, she will go down. I think Trump said this earlier. Biden's going down as the worst president in the United States. And I think she will go down with him. I think her political career is over. I think she should walk out the door right now, too. She should
Just
walk
say,
out
you know
the
what?
party.
I'm not built for this. I'm not this. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay. I enjoy being VP. I'm going to go back to California and do something else. But yeah, this is not, yeah, I'm not. Again, I agree. I agree with you 100%. But do you know who doesn't agree with us, Corey? It's good old Vance Jones. Vance Jones, man.
President Biden, you saved democracy.
Hey, whining. Hold on. Vance Jones, man, this guy right here. Boy, y'all say what y'all want to say about, if y'all want to talk smack about black men that don't support the Democratic Party and this, that, and the other, and you want to call names and this, that, and the other, y'all look at this man. This dude is going to this a whole grown black man is going to be crying because this man is not running. Y'all, I mean, crying, grown folk tear, almost black funeral crying. Y'all, please stop. Please stop. You are not, no. Absolutely, positively, unequivocally, no. Have you seen this yet, Corey?
No.
Oh, brother.
I'm not a fan of Van Jones.
Oh, I'm not. Trust me. The only thing I'm a fan of is because I have stock in Kleenex, and this dude keeps Kleenex paid. So therefore, my little index fund stays because this guy stays crying. Like, I don't understand how you. You literally have a job. You got a whole family. And instead of worrying about what you are doing to bless your own little fiefdom, your own little kingdom, you worrying about what's going on at 1600. Man, come on. Y'all, I'm not trying to pick at this man. I am trying to pick at this man and make fun of him. I'm sorry. You put too much faith in man. Stop it. Stop it. Humans are not going to fix your problems. They're not. Joe is not. Trump is not. Kamala's not. JD Vance is not. I am not. We're not going to fix your problems, people, because your problem ultimately is not the economy. It's not the border. It's not crime. It's not fentanyl. And it for sure is not whether or not the dust mites in Nantucket are experiencing a worse summer than the dust mites in Somalia. That's not your concern. Your concern is that you are a sinner in the hands of an angry God, and your sin has not been dealt with. So please understand, we're going to watch a man sit here begging and weeping for somebody to fix his issues, and nobody can answer it. He's literally crying out to nothing. But watch.
My popcorn.
Even people who are pushing for this to happen, it's kind of like when your grandpa, you got to take the keys. And everybody, you got to take his keys, you got to take his keys. You got to, and he's fighting, and everybody's so frustrated. And then you finally get the keys back. And then you just cry. Because this is somebody that you love. This is somebody that you care about. This is somebody who was there for you. This is somebody, you wouldn't be here without him. And you had to take something from him. Now, this is not, look, politics is politics. But this is a human moment for one of the great humans in America. This is a huge moment for him, for his family, for all of us who love him, for all of us who wanted him to get across the finish line. But if you're a young person watching this is leadership. This is patriotism. This is what it means to put the country first and put the party first and put the cause first. When your arm gets tired, you let somebody else finish pitching the game. That's what Joe Biden has done, and he's done that for all of us. And so I just want to say, I don't know who's going to be the VP, the non-VP. I don't know anything about politics. I just know that I love this man. I care about this man. It was painful every day to sit up here and talk about him like he's just some problem for the party. Wait till we get to the convention. You're going to see people crying, standing, screaming, cheering. He may not get a chance to talk for 10 minutes when we finally get a chance to put our arm around this guy. He did the right thing for this country. He did the right thing for this party. All of us are going to be in this situation someday, and I hope that we take a moment to honor this man and to love this man. I love Joe Biden. I appreciate what he's done, and a lot of people are heartbroken today. Even if it's the right thing, it's still just horrible.
I'm going to bet $10.85. Let me go. Hold on. Okay, now I'm gonna bet a whole bunch of pocket lint that I can find a video of Vance Jones dunking on people during the RNC who said the exact same thing about Donald Trump. I can guarantee you. Somebody is already probably clipping it and emailing it to me, dearwokec@gmail.com, about how Vance Jones dunked on people who were doing the exact same thing. They love Trump. They see him as a hero. He's a patriot, blah, 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 blah. All those same words, and he was dunking on them. I guarantee you.
Not even that. Let's go back to the debate. Vance said the night of debate, Joe Biden got to go. We got to find somebody.
Send me that clip. Somebody send me the clip of Joe Biden, of Vance Jones, crying Vance Jones saying that Joe Biden got to go. Please send me that clip, dearwokec@gmail.com. I will absolutely, if I get it in the next few minutes, I will play it. I don't care, because this is just comedy. This is just theater. This is nothing. This is not meant. If you're hand-wringing, if you're woe is me, I advise you and encourage you to look to Christ. Look to a real king, a real Lord who rules perfectly. That's what I'm talking about. Because this right now is just complete and utter foolishness. And let me see real quick. I think. Okay, I'm waiting for somebody sent me something else earlier. But again, we're looking at completely people who have lost all hope. And the reason they don't have hope is because they've put their hope in the wrong place. They're looking in the wrong direction. And therein is the problem. What you got? Uh-oh. Okay, did I lose you?
No, I'm here.
Oh, okay, I got you. But man, this is craziness. So Biden is stepping down. He's presumed passing the torch to Kamala. I don't think that's going to actually be the case. But where do you think? What do you think this week is going to be like?
I think it's going to be a lot of rush. I think it's going to be a lot of trying to scramble this together, or there's going to be exposure of the plan that it was the whole time. Either one. If we come tomorrow and they have a vice president ready, this is a plan. They have somebody vetted in a week, this is a plan. That's my little take. But
all right, so y'all, shout out to the internet is 100% undefeated. The interweb is undefeated. Literally 10 seconds ago, I said, somebody send me that link. And they have already sent it to me. They've already sent it to me. So again, now granted, the person that sent it to me is my handsome host down here with me, black law student. He already had it on deck. I'm like, this dude must have had that thing. You must have had that saved on your phone.
Yeah, I was sitting there looking. As soon as he talks, I'm like, I know there's a clip that contradicts.
This dude had that thing ready. All right, so Vance Jones made it sound like we were bad for saying that Joe Biden should step down. But literally a few weeks ago, after what was called the most dismal debate in history, let's see what he had to say.
Stage looks like Jill Biden, the First Lady, has come out. Former President Trump walking off the stage. The first debate of the 2024 campaign and the earliest presidential debate ever now in the books and in front of the voters. Tonight, along with Aaron Burnett, the first word on what those voters might make of it from our political professionals, from our CNN Flash Poll and Swing State Focus Group. We'll be talking to surrogates, including Vice President Harris, getting fact checks from our Daniel Dale and new reporting from inside both campaigns. With me here, CNN political commentator Scott Jennings, Kate Bedingfield, David Urban, Van Jones, Alyssa Farr-Griffin, and Newsnight anchor Abby Phillip and David Axelrod, and CNN Chief National Correspondent John King. John, let me start with you. Your thoughts.
Anderson, this was a game-changing debate in the sense that right now, as we speak, there is a deep, a wide, and a very...
Okay, so I'm going to leave the link to this down in the description of this video. Somebody just told me that jump to the 7-minute mark because I really don't want to hear these people talk that long. All right, so let's jump to the 7-minute mark. Thank you so much.
Joe Biden. I work for Joe Biden. He didn't do well at all. He did not do well at all. And he looked, I'll give you the analysis, kind of have the old man versus the con man. I can walk you through how I'm supposed to see it and say it, but I just want to speak from my heart. I love that guy. That's a good man. He loves his country. He's doing the best that he can. But he had a test to meet tonight to restore confidence of the country and of the base, and he failed to do that. And I think there's a lot of people who are going to want to see him consider taking a different course now. We're still far from our convention, and there is time for this party to figure out a different way forward if he will allow us to do that. But that was not what we needed from Joe Biden, and it's personally painful for a lot of people. It's not just panic, it's pain for what we saw tonight.
And if I may just add to that, I think Joe Biden lost in the first 3 minutes.
Okay, I mean, there we go. Van Jones is not. Yeah, it's painful. He's not using he's using some very, somebody called it mafioso words. They're making threats that are not threats to like the average listener, but you have to pay attention to the context in which he's saying it, and then you realize like, oh man, that person just threatened me. So he's using these words that, again, a new path forward. What does that mean? Like to the average person, they're like, okay, whatever. But most of us are like, you're saying that he should step down. And you see it on all these people's faces. These people's faces, man, they are not pleased. But let's finish. I want to hear what this young lady has to say. Do you want to add anything to that?
No, I think it's a parallel to you kicking me out the house and then crying when I leave.
Yeah, absolutely.
You told me to leave. Now you're saying, oh no, you're a good person, come back home. No.
Minutes. I think a lot of voters probably tuned out, and millions of people are having conversations with their families, with their friends, of if the president is up to the task and if he should step aside. And I'm someone who believes the former president is a threat to democracy. I think he is a threat to the America as we know it. He wants to fundamentally change our institutions. He has laid out what his plan is. I am not confident that that is the man to take him on. You cannot tell me democracy is on the line and then give that performance tonight. If based on that
I would love for her to explain, one, where did he say he's going to fundamentally change society, the republic? Where did he say that? And what did he fundamentally say he's going to change? Where did that happen? I would really love for this young lady to break that down, because maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm just not, in tune enough. I would love to hear what he actually said. And again, video timestamp it, dearwokec@gmail.com, where he said he was going to fundamentally change it.
Here's the thing. I will say this quickly. Griffin, who's talking, this young lady right here,
yeah,
is a complete joke. One, she's on The View, and that's enough I got to say.
Enough said. There's enough said there. All right, she's on The View. I'm going to leave the link right here. Man, y'all can go ahead and check it out if y'all want to. I'm not going to. I just want to hear Van Jones saying that. I mean, saying the quiet part out loud after the debate that was painful, and that we need a new path forward, and if he would give us permission to do that, so on and so forth. That sounds a lot like this dude needs to step down. And now he's mad because he actually did what you told him to do on the night of the debate. On the night of the debate, you said this. Because I think before the debate, most people still were in the haze and malaise that he was in control of all his faculties to some degree, shape, or form. They didn't realize how cognitively he had declined. So by seeing him there and watching the decline in 4K, lots of people got a wake-up call, so to speak. So, this is going to be a wild time. Truly wild. I've heard the coup word used before. Have you heard that as well, Corey?
In some conversations, yes.
I don't know how viable it is. I don't know. I mean, there's a reason to kind of maybe give it a little bit of veracity. I don't think anything at this point should be completely removed off the table. However, I don't know about that one.
I'm up in the air with that one.
I got you.
I can see it, but I can see it, but
All right, so let me see. I asked everybody. There was a poll, got 100 votes. Who do you think will be the Dem presidential candidate for this year? I said Harris. He got 29% of the votes. Newsom got 10. Obama was 5. But the rest of 56% said this is a raging dumpster fire. And I kind of agree with you 100% there. And lots of y'all have stopped through and hit the like button. I do appreciate that as well. Thank you so much.
Well, let me ask you a question. Who do you
Yes.
think could be second on the ticket? Well, we know Obama legally can't. So.
Well, I was thinking about Michelle when I put that on there.
Oh, Michelle.
They would do that. Because again, this is a team of optics. So they don't care about policy. They don't care about anything. It's truly an optic race. So, okay, I would say let's just pretend that Kamala Harris does in fact become the presidential nominee. I think she would tap somebody who, again, maybe Pete Buttigieg or somebody of that nature. I would hate that they would not pick. I mean, there's governors that they should pick, but they probably not going to pick a governor. They're going to probably pick somebody who's down the street around the corner. They ain't got nothing to do on Tuesday to run. So somebody already in their grasp already. So it's going to probably be somebody in D.C. like a Buttigieg or somebody like that. That would be so I'm thinking Harris Buttigieg ticket would probably be it. Because then they can get a whole bunch of firsts. They can, again, it's a team of optics. It's not about policy. It's not about what's best for the American people. It's about representation and optics. So that would be an optics slush fest. First black female running for president. You got a white husband. You got the first gay man with a pretend husband. They're gonna be milking that thing left and right and center.
Oh, yeah.
So that would probably be it. Again, policies be whatever they are. It's going to more than likely be whoever it is going to be is going to probably be an optic selection. What about you? Who do you think?
I agree with you 100%. The only thing, if I was Kamala Harris today, I would be calling Pennsylvania. I would be calling Josh Shapiro. I'll call somebody like that. Somebody. They need some intellectual on the ticket. They need a governor. They need somebody to know how to run the government. She has no experience.
I don't think they care, man. It's a team of optics, my guy. I mean, am I to believe that for the last 4 years that the people that occupied 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue were running the country? Am I supposed to believe that? Because am I to believe that Biden and Harris were actually running the country then? So, again, it's an optics race. It's just whoever looks the best. But I will say this, though, about the RNC. I personally don't think the RNC should say anything about whatever shenanigans are going on in the Democratic Party. I think they should just let it, because it's a complete dumpster fire. Let them just keep managing it. But if you keep coming by trying to rain on their parade, I think you'll help put out the dumpster fire. I don't think both Trump and Vance have said something. That's enough. Don't say anything else. Leave it alone. And now
I'm
go out
really
there and push your
disappointed.
policy. Say again.
I'm really disappointed. I was looking forward Vance Kamala debate. I was looking forward to that.
Now, true. They did look at this point in the game, my friend. I think presidential debates should become things that they bet on in Vegas. That would have been some great numbers right there. I agree. I was looking forward to that. And you're right. You're right. I don't think there's going to be another one, whether it be presidential or vice president debate this year. They're just in too much disarray.
But I do think Trump will destroy Kamala in a debate for sure.
That would be a glorious thing. Now, I do think that Trump should call Harris in order to muck up the system. Trump should send a congratulations to Harris. Congratulations on being nominated, and immediately ask for a debate right now. Like, I will debate you next Tuesday at the Waffle House, whatever. Just like immediately throw it out there and be like, I would love to debate you about border. And don't sound bombastic to say, I would love to talk to you about the border and how your policies are going to resolve this issue. See you there. Same rules. Y'all can keep the same CNN rules. You can keep the same crooked moderators and all that. All we're going to talk about is the border. I'll see you there. Oh, it would be so snarky. It's so snarky.
There's still one more debate that Biden and Trump had lined up. So maybe she'll accept
That debate was already going to get called. That debate was already going to get called out. He was going to find a way to weasel his way out of that one anyway. It wasn't going to last. He didn't want that smoke. He didn't want that smoke. No, and the reason I say Waffle House, because I think the average Joe and Jane need to, again, we don't need to debate at these highbrow, colleges and universities. We need to debate at Walmart. We need to debate where the great unwashed hang out. We need to go outside a beauty supply store. We need to debate at Quick Trip. We need to go where everybody goes. We need to go Quick Trip on Monday morning at 7:00. That's when we debate. That's it. And let the great unwashed hear what you have to say. Let the average Joe, the average Jane hear what your policies are. That's it. Because you can go do the polished thing somewhere else. But let's do it right here in front of everybody else. Let's go. That's what we want. And I think that's where, go ahead.
Meet me at the Kroger.
Meet me at Kroger. Catch me outside Kroger. And we're going to go inside Kroger. And we are going to, and you're going to have $5. And you have to buy you a meal. And then that'll be your debate. How you can buy a meal with $5, because that's what the average person has in their pocket right now. Now you go into Kroger, you buy something, and explain that to them. See, that's what I'm talking about. Petty.com. Yeah. I'm all about pettiness. No, we're gonna debate at Walmart. We're not going to Target. We're not going to Macy's. We're not going to the outlet mall. We're gonna be right there at Walmart with the guy out there playing the fake violin, trying to get some money, and a kid asking you to buy some bottled water. We're gonna debate right there. And now you're gonna tell me with the man pushing all his belongings in a shopping cart right there. That's what we talk about. Catch me outside.
Go.
Dear RNC, I'm telling y'all, man, I'm a strategist. But I think this is going to be wild. Though, Corey, you got any other pontifications? You got any reading into the future? What do you think is going to happen?
No, I really don't know. This is. Like, I was setting my week to look at the YSL case, and now I gotta have both of these things up. Because
look, y'all hate Alec Baldwin.
Yeah.
Y'all hate Alec Baldwin, man. I had a bomb conversation about Alec Baldwin case, man. But y'all hate him, man. Y'all hate Alec Baldwin, man, because this is third time I've had to kick that video down the street. I'm just gonna give up, man. I'm gonna just put it out there. I was like, man, y'all don't even care.
He's innocent now. Forget him.
He innocent now. Absolutely.
I was so ready for Brady v. Maryland discussion.
I was ready to talk about Brady. I was ready to talk about Brady, man. I was ready. Oh my gosh. Why y'all hate? Look, Joe Biden hates Alec Baldwin. News at 11. That's the rumor I'm gonna start. Joe Biden does not like Alec Baldwin.
Listen, you know what's so funny? I often say this. Why can't YSL get national media attention? Every time there's a break in YSL, there is something going on in national media. Every time there's a break, it can't be in the forefront.
That's a good point. I don't know. Well, you know what though? Okay, let's be honest though. Let's tell the truth, shame the devil. We got ADHD on a high level, okay? It's us. I don't think it's YSL case or it's not interesting. I just think we gravitate toward what's the most, again, what's the newest and truest thing out there. And let's just be honest. While I was on the phone with you today, my phone was going bananas with people sending me stuff about this doggone case. So even if I wanted to focus, we were initially going to talk about Alec Baldwin. If you look, the thumbnail was originally about Alec Baldwin until somebody sent it to us. Oh, we got to change it. We go this direction. So I think this is what people are talking about. Now, next week, when my sister from another mister starts court on time, yeah, we're going to be back talking to it. We're going to be back again. But until the meantime, people are like, look, let's just go ahead and let's talk about this.
But, to answer your question, I think it's going to be a very interesting week with they're going to have to figure out if these delegates, one, want Kamala Harris on their ticket. This could be a contested convention.
So what? Okay, can you break that down a little bit? Do you mind explaining that?
So normally the RNC was not contested. You walked in there and there was an understanding that that Donald Trump was going to be the nominee.
Correct.
We're not sure if all these delegates who have committed to Joe Biden is going to stay with Joe Biden. We don't know. In the middle of the convention, a state can raise their hand and do not vote for Kamala Harris.
And what happens?
It gets contested. They, just like jury, you got to stay until you get a nominee on the ticket. There has to be discussions and back and forth. You got to sell it.
Okay. Wow. That's why I think the RNC would be smart to not give any energy to that. At least the higher ups in the debate. So Trump, Vance, the RNC chair, they need to just stay away from it. Like, hey, wish you the best. Good luck with that. Hope that works out for you. And then just stay focused on their mission and not spend a lot of time discussing this. Let this raging dumpster fire keep being a raging dumpster fire, because I don't see any way this. Go ahead.
This is good for the Republican Party, and I think you're right. If they can just stay focused, they can show. Look, they're not even together. They don't have a nominee. Look at them. Look how they're going to run our country. They don't.
Right. Come on. And all you got to do, again, at least once a week, Trump should do a presser from the border. At least once a week, if not twice a week. He should be doing a press conference from the border with criminals trying to cross in the background, with the whole nine, and just keep hammering that optic, because everybody understands that. Not everybody understands international global policy. I know for doggone sure nobody understands how human beings are changing the weather and climate position, but everybody understands somebody doing something against the law, somebody breaking in to something, and you just keep hammering. Between Vance and Trump, they should just keep doing once a week. You got the first 2 weeks, I got the last 2 weeks. You got first and third, I got second and fourth, and just keep doing that. Press conferences from the border or press conferences from Quick Trip. I'm telling you, we already know that they listen to me. Dear RNC, run my money, y'all. Run my money. Hit me with my Cash App, y'all. Y'all took my idea. If you watch the RNC, they literally use my idea in the RNC. I'm going to accept that I made that idea up. I don't care what nobody says.
You're watching.
Okay, I'm sorry. Just looking at some of the comments right there. But run me my money, y'all. But I think just keep pressing the undefensible. That's the thing. And I've mentioned this before, and I mentioned this even with Fani Willis case here in Atlanta, the young lady that's running against Fani Willis in November. I said, just pick the things that Fani Willis is good at and beat her at what she's good at, and all she has left are the things she's not good at. There you go. In this regard. Say again?
That would be very easy.
Yeah, very easy. I said, but in this regard, all you gotta do is push the issues that they're not good at. What are the DNC good at? They keep regaling Medicaid prices and health insurance and the deletion of babies. That you don't even have to touch those. You don't even have to touch those. All you got to do is keep hammering what they're not good at in this regard, which is the border. The border is the worst thing possible. That's why Biden and Harris never will mention it. That's why Biden and Harris never will discuss it. And just keep hammering that away and just talk about it Monday, literally Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and twice on Saturday. And just keep going. Never stop talking about what they're not good at. And that's all you got to do. Dear RNC, y'all can have that one after you run me my money for my gas price in my grocery store example. Run me my cash.
She didn't even want to go to the border. For a long time.
For a long time, right? Then so that's what I'm saying. So right off the bat, Vance should immediately go to the border. Spend a whole week down there. I don't care. Be down there a whole lot. And just hear and talk to border people, talk to people that are breaking in, talk about people that live there, interview everybody, do town hall. Again, just town hall it crazy. For a week, just make the border, that's all America right there. Because please keep in mind, the problems that they're having in New York are because of the border. The problem and issues that they're having in Chicago with immigrants are because of the border. Wisconsin, the border. Phil in California, the border. So you're going to address a lot of key issues by literally set up shop at the border. I don't care. Start building a wall. Every day you come in and you bring a brick and you just start building a brick. I don't care. Do something. Do something that they cannot do, and they cannot address the border. That's it.
Put their campaign office at the border.
Facts. There you go. Put the Trump Vance campaign office, Southern region, is at the border. There you go. And it's a sealed deal. It's over. It is completely over. Because at the end of the day, I keep saying I want a good race, but man, goodness, I want to see good, thoughtful policies and good, thoughtful debate. And if they can't debate it, then just wear them out until they can. Because see, this will carry over into future generations. Future generations will be, because again, the border won't be fixed, just with a snap of a finger. If it's wide open now, it's going to be a problem in 2025, 2027, 2029, 32, and so on and so forth. It'll still be a problem. So make this a case for everybody. Everybody can understand that. Not everybody understands blessed prescription Medicaid prices.
But a lot of these conversations, she's not qualified to speak on. You go back to your comment earlier. She's not qualified to speak about women's rights. She don't have kids. She's not qualified to talk about crime. She's a terrible prosecutor. She's not qualified to talk about the border. She's never been there. There's many subjects.
I'm just saying. There you go. It just keep hammering. But see, you're forcing them. But see, in my opinion, you play the game that you're best at. So this is what I'm good at. I'm not good at hockey. I'm not good at skydiving. So I'm not going to play the game as a hockey player. I'm not going to play the game as a skydiver. What I'm going to play the game is as a thought person, a thoughtful person, a speaker, a strategist. I'm going to play the game according to my strengths. That's why whenever I discuss something with somebody about critical race theory, I'm going to discuss it from the Bible. I'm not going to discuss it from Ibram X. Kendi. I'm not going to expect it from James Cones. Those are complete and utter fools. I don't care about what they had to say. What does the Bible actually say about races? So since the Bible doesn't say that there's multiple races, then the Bible can't be racist. So therefore, there can't be races. So therein is the problem. I'm not going to move from that. That's where I stand. 10 toes, meet me outside, meet me in the backyard. I don't care. But I'm going to still be right there. So I'm going to speak from where I'm strong at. I'm not going to speak on some doggone Robin DiAngelo. She's a complete and utter loon. So why do I even care what Jamar Tisby says? I don't care what he says. I don't care. So you speak from your strength. And I think the DNC is not strong in the border. So then therefore and I think the RNC has a much better case. So therefore stand right there on the border. Every day, sun up to sundown, you're doing a presser from the border. It's going to be a mess because guess what? The mainstream media would have to come and do they would come and they'd have to cover it, right? What if the mainstream media got robbed while they were at the border? With mainstream media press, you see what I'm saying? Like, they're going to have a negative impact. It's going to, the border is wild. I got robbed, man. Our TV van got robbed down here. I guess you'd want a secure border then, huh? Again, make them come to you. Come on, man. Dear RNC, run me my money.
I don't think the Democrats can talk about crime anyway, and just in general as a party.
Anywhere.
The most dangerous cities in America, New York, Chicago, Detroit, Los Angeles, yes, they're big cities, but they're the most dangerous cities, and they've been ran by Democrats for years. So can't say Republicans messed them up.
There you go. Come on. And, I mean, go to places where, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm a gun for hire. So RNC, if you want to hire me, I will send you my price sheet, make a decision. Same thing, DNC. I'll help you out. Absolutely. I'll help you out and send you my price sheet. I would tell you to withdraw and go hide in a bunker, but that's just my opinion. But it point those things out, like go to every major city. Because again, I guarantee you major cities are probably wholly given into, like again, here in Atlanta, we have the largest population of Georgians centralized in one spot. So come right here and make your case. Because down in Butts County, down in Savannah, down in Athens, there are not as many Georgians as there are right here in Atlanta. Make your case right here in Atlanta and throw a monkey wrench in it. Everything is up for grabs. I'm sorry. There's not. I think we put ourselves in a pickle by saying that, oh, well, this is a blue state, and therefore you can't. No, everything's up for grabs. That's what they did here in Atlanta. I'm sorry, in Georgia, and try to what did they say? Flip the state with Stacey Abrams. That's the same thing they did. Then you do the exact same thing. Don't treat anything like it's off the table. Everything is on the table. If you have not done right by these people, then everything is on the table. And you can't prove it, it's on the table.
I just seen on my Twitter flash, it's funny, they said Stacey Abrams could be on the ticket with.
Didn't I tell you that? Didn't I tell you that yesterday? I told something, well, maybe it wasn't you. I think I told you. I told you they was going to do that. I told you they were going to run Stacey Abrams. And please understand again, they playing in y'all faces, y'all. Why do they keep running black women that don't got husbands? Y'all tell me that. Tell me that. I know, dearwokec@gmail.com. I know you're in your feelings. Go ahead and get over it. But tell me, why do they keep doing that to y'all? Why don't they have black women that are married, that have children, that have a vibrant relationship with their husbands and their families? Why do they not do that? Why do they keep giving you a Fani Willis? Why do they keep giving you a Kamala Harris? Why do they keep giving you Stacey Abrams and so on and so forth? Why do they keep doing that to y'all? Playing in your face. Now, there are some, I think Keisha Lance Bottoms, if I'm not mistaken, she was married, and that's fine. But there's a lot of them that they run against y'all. I mean, run for y'all that are not. Why is that? Why do they do that? Does that not cause you to think what they think about you as females, as support systems for your family, the backbone for your family? Does that not make you, feel some kind of way? I'm just wondering. Because I know if I was a Democrat and I saw Vance Jones as a representation for black people and the hair challenged, I would think that they thought something different about me. I would feel like they thought that I was a weak, sorry man that would be crying about Joe Biden. That's what I would think. But how do y'all feel about that? No, she is married with stepchildren. Kamala is married with stepchildren, but please keep in mind, she's never had children herself. And therein is the rub that I am proposing, that I think motherhood is far more than just, it is a natural mother is a different person than a stepmother, in my opinion. I'm not bashing stepmothers. Shout out to those who choose to be a part of another woman's child's life. Shout out to you. But let's just be honest with you. That's all I'm saying. And again, I could be wrong. I'll be fine to be wrong. Tell me how I am, though. All right.
I agree.
Okay, no, I'm sorry. So I'm looking here. No, good stuff, man. I think this is going to be a wild week. All right. We make it through the week. What are we going to be talking about Sunday, bro? What do you think? What kind of shenanigans do you think we'll be talking about this time next week?
Worst case scenario, I guess I would go back to like a quick YSL plug. Maybe Kamala Harris does what the second judge did, just recuse herself and walk away.
I like it. I like it. I like it.
Gotta go. No. They said no. I think this week it's a lot going on. I think you have the Secret Service testifying tomorrow on Capitol Hill.
Good point. Yes.
That's a big thing. There's a lot of information that came out about that I'm reading about, so that'll be interesting. And I think, yeah, that's gonna be interesting.
I got you. Okay, I'm going to go with this time Sunday, next week rather. There'll be a lot of wrangling this week about Harris and her being the nominee. So there's going to be a lot of, and it's somehow or another is going to come out. So it won't be closed doors. It won't be in secret meetings. It will be out in public square that how they're trying to switch these delegates to vote for Harris. But somehow or another, I don't know. I'm going to go on a limb and say Wednesday night, Biden is going to speak. And he's going to say, they're going to hop him up on a lot of copium. He's going to be filled to the gills with Adderall, and he's going to be ready to say whatever he's going to say. I think he's going to speak. And a lot of people are going to see that as a sign to throw their hat behind Kamala. So going into the weekend, next weekend, there'll be, again, she won't be solidified because there'll still be a lot of wrangling that needs to happen. But I think the public perception will be that, Joe Biden is able to do this. Like they're going to think that you can just say, hey, I want Black law student to be the president. And there you go. And it just happens. A lot of people are going to believe that, and they're going to feel like that's the right thing to do. So that's where I think it's going to happen.
I'll say this though. I believe next week we're going to hear someone's going to challenge her on that ticket. I don't think the Democratic Party is just going to let her just take that ticket. She is not popular. She wasn't popular when she was running for president. I think someone's going to challenge it.
Okay. All right. You're going to have to tell me who somebody is. You got to give me one of the somebodies. You don't have to be etched in stone, but who's going to be the somebody?
You're going to hear somebody from the AOC side of the party.
Wow. You're going over there.
Bernie Sanders. You're going to hear Elizabeth Warren. You're going to hear somebody over there. Remember, let's go down memory lane. It was hard for that side to get on board with Joe Biden when he was becoming the nominee. They did not want to get on board with him. And they did not like Kamala Harris. So somebody's going to have to, that side is not going to be on board. There's going to be negotiation. I think it's going to be a showdown like how the Republicans held the House hostage trying to find a speaker. I think you're going to see a Democratic showdown this week.
Now, RFK, he is running as an independent. Am I correct?
Yeah, but he's a joke. We're not worried about him.
But I'm just saying, like, he can't just say, oh, independent. Did I say independent? No, I meant he can't jump over and run. Am I right?
No.
Okay.
No. Unless he gets the delegates. Now, if he gets delegates, yeah, sure.
That's crazy.
No. I don't. Yeah. I doubt that 100% plus.
So you're not going to join the Vegas betting pool.
If it's for him to become the Democratic nominee, I'm putting my house up.
Oh my gosh! Okay, wow, he put a whole crib up on that. Okay, I love it. This thing is going to be absolutely bonkers. Okay, let me ask you this. Let's say, pretend Kamala Harris does in fact become the Democratic presidential nominee. Do you think they're going to debate?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Oh, you do? Oh, okay. Oh, you think? Oh, okay. Break this down. I want to hear this. I don't think they will, but go ahead. I want to hear this.
It's her ego. I don't think she's, oh yeah, let me destroy Trump.
Wow. Okay.
It's going to be the same thing. They're going to talk about the felons, the New York. They're going to talk about all those things the American people do not care about. Right. This.
Yeah.
I don't think, she's going to want to debate. Trump should debate her because it's an easy win. They're selling the same bag of chips. You're not selling no new bag of chips. It's the same bag of chips.
Bag of
The reason why you didn't want Biden is the same reason why you don't want Kamala.
I mean,
Now,
if they can convey
here's the
that
caveat.
message, I agree.
Now, if she comes out here and distance herself from Biden, then we might have a problem.
I don't think she can, though. Like, how can she do that?
You gotta throw him under the bus. She won't, though, but you have to throw him under the bus. But there's too many clips of her cheerleading him to throw him under the bus, so maybe not.
Yeah, I just don't see, like, I mean, granted, I don't think they would care if she threw him under the bus, but I can see there being a problem with that. And not saying it's right or wrong. I can see it being a problem if she got out there and like just completely, eviscerated Joe and he was terrible. I knew he was a vegetable a long time ago. If she came out like that, I think that would be really problematic. I don't think people would get behind her like that. But I don't know how she can distance herself from what she's done and been a part of.
But she has to debate Donald Trump. She has to go out and show that there's some type of difference here. She cannot be and this is emergency for her to debate Donald Trump.
Oh my gosh.
She has to.
Oh, it's gonna be bad. Okay, I can see what you're saying. I can pick up what you're throwing down. All right.
There would be two cognitive people on stage, so you might actually get an intellectual debate going on. But
I will tell you, do not on Twitter right now. They got these doggone fake videos talking about Biden talking about from the Oval Office. It is a mess. Do not give in to that. Do not get tricked by that. I got tricked by that earlier. Okay, somebody said that Kennedy gave a what's called? I don't see where he did. I don't see it. And if so, y'all, why are these people like this? This is now I know this is true. This is real. Okay, Corey, had you seen this? This is your vice president right here, getting jiggy with the marching band. Let's go ahead and see how Kamala got them moves. She got them moves. She got the moves. Go ahead. Look at her husband back there. He is a mess. Interesting. I'm gonna stop that. Did you see that?
Yeah, that's great.
Do you feel like your presidential nominee's got the moves? You think the moves are gonna move the needle, get her moving up the polls? What you think?
I don't think so. This is all theater for her.
No question.
The question is, can she have a substantial conversation to the American people? Can she relate to the American people? Can the American people believe in her? Can the American people understand her position? Is her position different than Biden's position? Remember, she threw him under the bus when they was running against each other.
That's a good point. Good point. Just remember, we already see who Joe's been getting phone calls from. Allegedly. Twitter is undefeated, man. Twitter is crazy, man. Twitter is crazy. No, I think you make a great point. Does she connect with the rest of the people? Yes, she can connect with a high school marching band. I think it's interesting. Did anybody pick up on the music that was being played? That the drum line was playing? Did anybody pick up on it? It's The Glamorous Life by Sheila E. It's about a woman who's a prostitute. I just think that's just interesting. She's an escort. I just thought that was really wild that they would choose that. I mean, I think it's inappropriate for the band to be playing it, but I just thought that was wild that that's what they were playing. Let me see. I don't see this Robert Kennedy statement. But yeah, I don't see this Robert Kennedy statement about Harris and about Biden. I'm trying to look and see. I don't see it, but okay. Yeah, I don't see it. But if somebody sends it to me, email me, dearwoke@gmail.com. I appreciate it. Yeah, there's a lot of clips on Kamala Harris already showing up. Oh my gosh. Oh, this one, I don't know. This one's rough. You want to see it real quick? Oh, it's in Discord?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh man, this is gonna be rough. Oh, it's painful. It's painful. I'm just gonna tell you right now. This one right here is gonna pain you. So everybody, I apologize right here. Maybe I guess it's a good thing that the Dems are running on Medicare, prescription, whatever. Because this one right here is gonna pain your souls, y'all. I'm sorry.
Poor hubby. Poor hubby.
No.
I want a body language expert to explain her laugh to me.
He knows how to sell right there. Okay.
I can't. That's too painful, Corey. I'm sorry, man. I apologize to everybody that's been unduly harmed by that. Please make sure you email management. All right. It's just a montage of her laughing, and it is really, oh my gosh, it is really annoying. But this is gonna be this is their nominee, allegedly. But I don't think it's gonna happen, but we'll see what happens.
I don't think so either.
Yeah,
and one of the primary reasons is she has no record to stand on but Joe Biden.
Yeah, I think that's a great question.
You're the co-pilot. You don't get credit when the pilot's driving.
Right. But if the pilot drives in the wrong direction, you will get blamed.
How come you didn't take over the plane?
Right, there you go. Like, why did you not drive it in it, or at least alert him that he was going the wrong direction if the pilot falls asleep or something? Just crazy. Like, why are you not engaged in that? Like, I think that's a good point. Let's see. So Robert Kennedy holds a news. I did see this. I just didn't. Hold on 1 second. It's like 40 minutes long. Yikes. All right. So he's coming out. Let me pull this in. I apologize for that.
President Biden, you saved democracy.
Sorry about that. Okay. All right, let's see. I don't know how long this is. Let's see. Is that his wife? Okay.
Stephanie, ready? Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming. I want to begin by commending President Biden for a career in public service, for a long, long career in representing and serving our country, and for his handling of the many difficulties and challenges, personal challenges and tragedies that he suffered during his life with so much admirable conduct and the empathy that he derived from those experiences, and that he was always proficient at showing to the rest of us. I want to add that a little over a year ago, when I entered this race, I predicted that President Biden suffered from a degenerative condition that was not going to improve and that it would make it impossible for him to govern effectively. The reaction of the DNC to that obvious condition was to hide it from the American public and to use their power over the Democratic Party nomination process to make sure that nobody could compete with President Biden in a way that would expose his deficiencies. And as a result, we are where we are today, which is in a period of crisis. And we have two crises, and they both derive from the same condition. And that condition is the emergence of the domination of corporate power over American democracy that accelerated beginning in 2010 with the Citizens United case that unleashed a tsunami of corporate money into the American political process. And both parties are now captured by that corporate money. And they've lost any kind of authentic connection to the American people or to the populist goals of the Republic and of democracy. On the Republican side, President Biden promised the last time around that he was going to drain the swamp. But instead, he came in and he appointed a pharmaceutical lobbyist and a CEO to run HHS, a Verizon lobbyist to run the FCC, a Goldman Sachs CEO to run the Treasury Department, an oil lobbyist to run the Interior Department, a coal lobbyist to run the Environmental Protection Agency, and so on. And only today, President Trump has announced that in his new administration, should he win this election, that Jamie Dimon will be his choice as Commerce Secretary, and that Larry Fink, the director of BlackRock, will run the Treasury Department. This is the swamp. These are swamp creatures. And his pick as vice president is a salute to the CIA and to the intelligence community and to the military-industrial complex. Their gravy train is going to continue. And President Trump has a connection to the American people, a populist connection, but in many ways it's the same fraudulent connection that we saw with the DNC over the past year, concealing the real purpose of their objectives, which was to give us a president that represents corporate interests rather than the interests of the American public. We've seen two presidents who aren't really addressing any of the issues that are critical to our country. We have, if you look at President Biden and President Trump, you can look at them and say these are very different people. Their dispositions are different. Their personalities are different. Their expressed ideologies are very, very different. Their approach to politics could not be more distinct. But if you actually look at the policies over which they differ, over the landscapes in which they're staging this election, it's a very narrow Overton window of guns, of culture war issues, of abortion, of trans rights, etc. And the big existential issues that are actually facing our country are never addressed. The biggest of these, perhaps, is the national debt, which is now $34 trillion. The service on that debt alone is now greater than our military budget. Within 5 years, 50 cents out of every dollar that we collect in taxes will go to servicing that debt. Within 10 years, 100%. This is not sustainable. President Biden, President Trump offer no solutions. President Biden, on his webpage, has no policy issues addressing this or any other policy. He has a picture of himself and saying that we're going to finish the job. But he doesn't tell what job he's going to finish. If it's the job of running up the deficit till it's completely unsustainable, that's something the American people should know about. President Biden can't talk about it, and President Trump can't talk about it because they're the ones chiefly responsible for running up that debt. President Trump came into office saying he was going to run the presidency as a business. He was going to balance the federal budget. And instead, he ran up an $8 trillion debt, more than all the presidents combined since George Washington. And President Biden is now on track to beat that number. So neither of them are even going to talk about this most existential issue. Another existential issue is our addiction to foreign wars. Both men have said that they're against war, and both men are feeding a war machine. The Ukraine war is a war that should have never been fought. It should have been settled. President Putin has offered twice to settle that war on terms that were enormously beneficial to the Ukrainian people and to the American people and to our security in Europe. And yet, President Putin initialed an agreement. President Zelensky initialed that same agreement in April of 2022. And President Biden sent Boris Johnson over to force Zelensky to tear up that agreement. And since then, it's probable that over 500,000 Ukrainian kids have died unnecessarily in a war that is enriching BlackRock because they own all of the military contractors that are supplying that war. And BlackRock not only has the contract to destroy Ukraine, but it also now has the contract which President Biden gave him to rebuild Ukraine. Neither of these presidents is going to deal with the chronic disease epidemic. When my uncle was president, 6% of Americans had chronic disease. Today, 60% do. Diabetes alone, when I was a kid, the typical pediatrician would see one case of diabetes in his career, or 40 or 50-year career. Today, 1 out of every 3 children who walk through his office door is diabetic or pre-diabetic. And nobody's talking about why this is happening. The cost of dealing with mitochondrial disorders and our children's dysfunction, which is diabetes, is now greater than our military budget. The biggest cost to our nation is the cost of treating chronic disease, $4.3 trillion annually. It's 5 times the price of our military budget. And nobody's talking about why did autism go from 1 in 10,000 in my generation and 70-year-old men today, right now, and yet my children's generation is 1 in every 34 kids, 1 in every 22 boys. Shouldn't we be looking into this? Shouldn't we be doing the science to figure out what's causing it? We know that it's an environmental explosion. Or an accumulation of environmental exposures. Genes don't cause epidemics. There has to be an environmental toxin. And all the corrupt merger of state and corporate power has been overseen by both political parties. It's something neither of them. The capture of our agencies by the industries that they're supposed to regulate. They've been turned, our regulatory agencies have been turned into the sock puppets of the industries they're supposed to protect us against. And all of these are issues that are critical to the American people. And finally, the most existential issue of all, the toxic division that is destroying our country. And President Biden's the attempted assassination of President Trump this week is a symptom of that toxicity. We're now more polarized in this country than at any time since the American Civil War. And nobody can see an ending to this. If President Biden gets elected, it's going to become more toxic. If President Trump gets elected, it's going to become more polarized. And neither of these men, both of them recognize this is existential. But neither of them can do anything about it. Why? Because they feed on it. They feed it. They fuel it. And they are the products of that division. So we need a leader who can stop feeding into the vitriol, stop feeding into the anger, stop feeding into the marginalization, the polarization, and who can find those values that bring Americans together rather than focusing on these toxic issues that are intended to keep us all apart. And it's the BlackRock, the State Street, the J.P. Morgan who are profiting from that division. The very people that President Trump has promised to appoint to run our government who are profiting on it, because it's like the jangling of keys. They're saying, look over here, look at abortion, look at freedom of choice, look at trans rights, look at gun rights. And while we're all staring at each other's throats on those issues on the jangly keys, they're robbing the bank over here. They're shifting the wealth upward to this new oligarchy of billionaires. And both President Trump and President Biden engineered the lockdowns in 500 days. They created 500 new billionaires. And they shifted $4.3 trillion northward from the American middle class to this new aristocracy that we have. And it's destroying our country. We need a change. If people want more of the same, they can vote Democrat and they can vote Republican. The only way we're going to get a change in this country is if people come together behind one candidate who is independent, who has vowed to have a unity government to bring Republicans and Democrats and others all together in a way that finds common ground in our country. A candidate who's the only candidate who's pro-choice, who's pro-environment, who's pro-civil rights, and who beats Donald Trump by 14%. There is no other candidate who can beat Donald Trump. Look at all the polls that have been done over the last year. I beat Donald Trump and nobody else can. Thank you very much.
All right. Okay. That was I don't want to hear this presser. What do you think about that, Corey? I mean, what's perception of that?
He congratulated Biden and threw him under the bus. I'm not really sure about Kennedy. He's always never been like somebody I would even consider. I mean, he had a press conference with 2 local news stations.
Right. Yes.
Nobody really picks him up. Nobody really picks him up, the national media, so I really don't know too much about him.
No, I agree. All right, so Donald Trump has responded. Donald Trump has chimed in and given his 2 cents. I'm going to pull that up real quick, and we'll see what he had to say. What do you think Trump had to say? Just what are your thoughts?
Maybe he's just ready for Kamala. Bring her on. He's probably ready for it.
Let's see if he says, I'm ready for Kamala. Let's see if he says, bring her on. Let's see. All right, so I did this correctly. Lord willing. All right, we cooking, Jason. We cooking. Here's Donald Trump from the real Donald Trump. So we are forced to spend time and money on fighting crooked Joe Biden. He polls badly after having a terrible debate and quits the race. Now we have to start all over again. Shouldn't the Republican Party be reimbursed for fraud and that everybody around Joe, including his doctors and his fake news media, knew he was not capable of running for or being president? Just ask him. What do you think?
I think that's a valid. It's kind of funny because he's right. They spent all these money probably on ads about Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Now they can't use them.
I mean, I agree. The only thing is I push back is instead of saying, shouldn't the RNC be reimbursed? I would think he would say, shouldn't the American people that supported him be reimbursed, supported Biden be reimbursed, just to dig up a little bit more of concern between the people that have supported them up to this point. And they're like, man, you know what? Yeah, I should. I did send $10 or what was it? $29. I did send $29. You're right. Like, I think that would just ferment a little bit more dissatisfaction. Like, man, they knew it. They were taking money from you 2 days ago, right? You sent money last Wednesday at payday and they knew that they were going to pull the plug on Sunday. Man, I'd be upset about that. I wouldn't put up with that if I was you.
I be calling my bank on Monday.
For sure. Like, I need to reverse some charges.
Yeah, fraud.
Yeah, I need some fraud. Was your card stolen? No, the election is trying to be stolen. They try to steal. No, I need a charge back on that. Now that's.
I think the RNC stole your words. The RNC stole your words.
What they do?
Campaign video from Trump. Did you see that campaign video that I sent you?
Oh no, not yet. Hold on. You sent it. Hold on 1 second. Yo, if they steal another thing from me, hold on. You sent me? Hold on, man. I'm about to look. Run me my money, RNC. Stop playing with me. Hold on. If they I saw the message pop up, but I did not look at it. I'm sorry. All right, hold on. If they did that, man. Yo, are you for real? Oh my gosh. Hold on, let me oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Let me download this because it won't let me I want to. Can you send me the link to it? It won't let me it's just playing in my messenger and it looks weird. Oh, y'all, I'm sorry. I don't know if it's, I don't know. The RNC is watching DWC. There we go. The RNC is watching DWC. Let's just tell the truth. Everybody say, hey, type RNC in the chat. Say, run me my money. Y'all, this ad right here, there's no way that they didn't. There's no way. She sent me the link too. Hold on 1 second. Somebody else sent it to me as well. Oh, this might be it. No, I don't think this is it. I got another rock star in the chat as well. Has been sending me links all throughout this, but it's not pulling. I don't know why it won't let me pull it out of Messenger correctly, and it looks really weird. If you send it to me again, Black Law Student, I will, or just send me the link. I will play it. This one right here is. Oh, you emailed. Okay, perfect. Okay. Y'all, these people are not playing games. Again, this is where this is. Now, granted, this one is dealing with them. I still think they should stick with things that are indefensible, like their policies and such of that nature. I mean, to a degree, I think there's a level of truth that Robert Kennedy said about, the budget. Okay, I think there's some truth there. I can give you that. I'm willing to give you that. All right, let me pull this in so we can look at it. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
She covered up Joe's obvious mental decline.
Our president is in good shape, in good health, tireless, vibrant, and I have no doubt about the strength of the work that we have done.
But Kamala knew Joe couldn't do the job, so she did it. Look what she got done. A border invasion, runaway inflation, the American dream dead. They created this mess. Kamala owns this failed record. Make America Great Again Inc. is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Y'all, I'm sorry. Okay, fine. You don't like Orange Man bad. I got you. You don't like Orange Man. Orange Man bad. But you cannot, I'm sorry, you can't shuck and jive. You can't bob and weave. That right there that was a mess.
Kamala was in on it. She covered up Joe's obvious mental
Yeah, there's no way. How do you fix that? Fine. Okay, fine. Orange Man bad. I got you. How do you fix this though? Like literally on the 1st of July, she said that she covered it up. How do you fix that? What do you think about this? Corey, what'd you think about it?
Yeah, I think they're right. This is her record. Maybe she was the one doing all this and he was just going along with it.
Right. Okay. Maybe that's it. Yeah. Maybe Joe's legacy is actually hers. That's a great point. Now watch this. I'm wondering with this revelation or this realization, rather, not even a revelation, it's a realization, cause her not to get the nomination. Because the DNC's like, look, you too close to him. There's too much that's indefensible. We need to go in a different direction. You think maybe that could happen?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe she's not a good ticket. You know,
I don't think
right
she's a
now
good ticket.
they have to make a decision tonight who can beat Trump, and they're gonna have to dig. They're gonna have to dig.
Okay, my argumentation in my mind, if all you're worrying about is beating this, if all you're worrying about is beating Trump, that's going to be problematic. It's whose policies are better. Like, we have better policies because inevitably, yes, you will beat Trump. However, your policies do have to be better. That's ultimately what, because I challenged that in the 2020 election, your policies weren't better. Even though, again, he was the most popular president, he won by, 100 quadrillion votes, all that kind of stuff like that. But I don't think he's better. And I don't think your policies are better. So if all you're focusing on is, I got to beat black law student, but you're not actually saying, okay, let me convey better ideas in black law student. My ideas are better for America. My ideas are better for this nation. I just think that's myopic thinking. Does that make sense, or what do you think?
I think you're right, but we have to understand that Trump is auditioning for the job again. She has the job, so she has to run on her record.
Facts.
Her record is her policies.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, she needs to find a way to convey that the messages, what she's done is better than what has been done. I mean, because it's hard to say, because yes, she is running against her own self.
It's going to be a lot.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot. Here, let me watch it again. Let me make sure I
Kamala
understood.
was in on it. She covered up Joe's obvious mental decline.
Our president is in good shape, in good health, tireless, vibrant, and I have no doubt about the strength of the work that we have done.
But Kamala knew Joe couldn't do the job, so she did it. Look what she got done. A border invasion, runaway inflation, the American dream dead. They created this mess. Kamala owns this failed record. Make America Great Again Inc. is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way to fix that.
Yeah, you can't. That's over. Election's over.
Yeah.
She can't hide from that record.
Say it again.
She can't hide from this.
No.
Wait till Trump says, "Oh, so you knew that he was in decline?"
Oh my gosh.
Didn't happen on the debate stage. Didn't happen on no debate stage.
It's a wrap. It's a painful wrap. I understand a lot of them are going to have to learn how to cope, but yeah, this is a sealed deal. Now, if they run a different candidate, but again, like even a different candidate would have to, again, like if they run a candidate that's been a senator that's been supportive of Biden up to this point, he's tacitly accepted his policies as well. So he's going to be tied to him as well. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I don't even think in that they can make a run for it.
Ideas, fresh policies. To me, they cannot run Kamala on this ticket. If they're going to run Kamala, they might as well call Joe back in.
I know I quit this job. I know I resigned. I gave my 2-week notice, but I changed my mind. Yeah. I can see where you're going with that. I can see where you're getting that from. Yeah, this is going to be so interesting. Oh my gosh. This is going to be so interesting. Let me see. I think that is it. I saw somebody wanted to ask a question. Drop a question. It's all good. Drop a question. I think Tammy was going to ask a question. Tammy Anderson, drop the question. We good. We good up in here. But yeah, I think this week is going to be bonkers with the Secret Service testifying. Is that Monday or Tuesday?
That's tomorrow.
All right, and then we got whatever's going to happen with this.
I think he will address the nation on probably Tuesday or Wednesday.
I'm going with Wednesday. But I got you. It could be Tuesday. They like to, or I mean, I hate to say it, they might even press it all the way to Thursday. That would be terrible, but I mean, it is what it is. I wonder why they chose to do this today like this. It just seemed like such a not well orchestrated, planned out event. Like, what was the purpose of doing it today rather than on the heels of you being able, or actually doing a address the nation? But again, I think it was bad look, in my opinion. Wow, somebody said Friday. Good gracious, that would be terrible.
I think it has something to do with that Secret Service testimony. You know, there was a lot of stuff buzzing around that. You know, that's going to be bad tomorrow. There's stories from there's whistleblower complaints given to Congress. They're going to talk about tomorrow. Biden, somebody denied the extra security Donald Trump asked for 3 times. That's not good.
No, I got you. Yeah, I even though I totally agree with you, I can see how this would overshadow even the Secret Service discussion. And so, like,
demanding answers.
No, I agree, but I can see how it could get a little bit out of control, and there would be more questions about that than what's more questions about, you know, what's going on with Biden than what's happening with the Secret Service. But that's just my little 2 cents. Not saying that it's right or wrong, but I could be totally wrong. I mean, this is a dumpster fire, so there's going to be a lot. Because we'll come back, we'll talk on Tuesday, and it'll be a whole different game of cheese, totally different conversation. So, wow. Yeah, man, I am looking forward to whatever happens. I'll tell you that much, though. I am looking forward to it because it is going to be some must-see TV for sure. All right, so we got that on Monday. We got hopefully, well, YSL will be back in session the following Monday, the 29th. Tomorrow's, 29th.
Yeah, but on Tuesday, they have to follow all their motions.
Yeah, filing the motions on Tuesday. Oh my gosh, man, it's just, there's no way that this is going to, whoever anticipated that 2024 was going to be this news heavy, this many wild events. I mean, don't forget, last Saturday, we had a possible presidential candidate, a failed assassination attempt. That's crazy. Never.
Yeah.
Not in our day and age have we seen that. So, no, there's a lot. Say again?
2024 is a wrap.
It's a wrap. All right. So I'm trying to just see. I need to stop looking at stuff. I'm just going to leave it alone. Because there's just some craziness out here in this world. And there's so many people talking about this situation right now. I can only imagine there's all of the different angles and perspectives and so on and so forth. But let's see. Is there anybody else? Thank you so much, Mandy, for the very gracious super chat. I did get that. And yeah, like, I agree. Like, you know, Robert F. Kennedy was giving props to Joe, and then he started crashing out on Joe, which is craziness. This is going to be a wild night. So, all right. You got anything else new going on in your sector? I know you were working on school, of course. How far along are you in your law school, Black law student?
I'm pretty much done. I'm in a lame duck session this year, so I'm just almost like waiting to graduate.
Oh, congratulations. Okay. Yeah. So they call it lame. It's called a lame duck session, really?
Yeah, because there's 2 things that happen your last year. You go intern someplace, they get these hours.
Yeah, for sure.
Or, yeah, that's pretty much. And I don't need an intern because I already got the hours.
I love it. What form of law will you be practicing or focusing on?
Business, commercial finance.
Like it. All right. Well, I appreciate it, though. Thank you so much. All right, everybody. This is a Black Law Student. He's been a fantastic contributor in the chat. So we thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight and going over this story. Oh, my gosh. I can only imagine. I'm kind of... Okay. I got a question, by the way. I can only imagine what we'll be talking about later. Real quick, Tammy Anderson says, shouldn't we all want safety and security for our families? Shouldn't we all want God to be the center of our lives? First question, absolutely. I mean, yes. Yes, we should. Second question, absolutely yes. I don't think anybody's saying anything contrary to that. So, yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. And that is exactly what I want for my family, Black Law Students family, and everybody that's in this chat and elsewhere. So, yep, I agree with you. Absolutely. Yeah, and Retired agrees with you 100%, Tammy. Great question, by the way. Great question. I don't know. What do you think about that one, Corey? This was a good question. Why won't Obama endorse Kamala?
I think it's too early. I don't, I think they're going to take the lead from the DNC and see if they get these delegates to switch over. She's not popular. I just looked at her approval rating for vice president. She has the lowest in the last 6 vice presidents.
But wouldn't, if Obama just came out right now and said, I endorse Kamala Harris, wouldn't that generate more buzz and possibly more pressure for the delegates to vote in that direction?
Sure. It would definitely be a smart idea.
So, okay. And I'm not saying the gentleman is not smart. I do believe he's probably pretty smart. Then why not do that? That would be the right thing to move your party in that direction rather than looking at an open primary, open convention and all that kind of stuff.
To be honest, I expected that to happen today. I expected the Clintons, every predominant figure, to come out here and say, we support whatever Joe supports.
That's what I thought too.
What it shows is that they're not on one page. They're not on one accord.
Fair enough. No, I agree. Now, this is going to be a wild week. I got this weird feeling, though, when we talk again, because we're probably going to end up doing this again sometime in the next 96 hours. I got a feeling Kamala won't be the candidate. I don't know.
Yeah, me too.
I got a feeling Kamala won't be the candidate. As much as I might have said that in the beginning, now I'm starting to think I can kind of see how they would probably try to distance themselves and try to run 2 new ideas. So they pick 2 new candidates, a presidential and a vice presidential candidate, and then those are new ideas. They could say they would be like 2 brand new ideas, because then you got Trump's ideas and this team's ideas versus Trump's ideas and whatever the devil Joe and Kamala have done for the last 4 years. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. They're going to have to get somebody new. She has the same record
as Biden,
as Joe Biden.
No question, no doubt.
Can't hide it.
Can't hide that. Tammy asks, well, the Democrats are against that. And I think she's talking about her previous statement. So why would anyone vote for them? I think that's a fantabulous question. Since I don't vote for Democrats, I don't know why somebody would vote for them. You would actually literally have to ask this question to a Democrat, because I don't vote for them. What have the Democrats done for any American? I don't know. I do not have an answer. Do you have an answer?
No, I don't know. I have to think about that.
I don't have an answer. Yeah, that's like asking a vegan what a steak tastes like. I mean, I don't know. I have no idea. So yeah, you'd have to ask. Oh, somebody using big words. Somebody said this would be internal conflict. Oh, that's what it is. Internal conflict in the DNC. Obama knows Harris can't win. So I guess that's probably what Bird Dog is saying, that the reason Obama hasn't supported her is because he knows she can't win anyway. So that would be a moot point to, if I'm understanding him correctly, that it would be a bad look to endorse her now because she's not going to make it to the convention. And I kind of agree with that. I can see it. But I think it's also telling. Go ahead.
No, I think there's hesitation of, they got to find somebody that can win.
There you go.
I know you don't want to hear this, but it's about beating Trump. They got to find somebody that can beat Donald Trump.
No. And hear me. Tacitly, you are beating Trump. If you win, you beat Trump. That's true. However, how do you beat him? By calling him a meanie head or saying he has bad hair and a bad spray tan? No, you beat him by policies. And that's all I'm saying. Like, what is going to be your policy, Kamala? What's going to be your policy, DNC? Because again, if your platform is a platform of death, please understand, we just watched better than 18 hours of them celebrating life right there. And it's going to be hard for you to fix and convince people that this party right here that was all about America and the individual, and then this party over here that's literally about death, that I need to support this party. It's going to be hard to convince them of that.
But, you have to understand it's fourth quarter here. It's not the first quarter.
Facts.
We're at the end of the game. They got it. It's fourth quarter. We're down by 20. We got to cheat. We got to do something. We got to look at the playbook. Quarterback's down. We got to get somebody. We don't got time to do practice. We don't got time to figure out who can throw the ball. Can you throw? Yes, you're in. That's what comes.
I hate it, but you're right. No, I think this is going to be so wild. This is going to be so very wild. Man, I'm looking forward to it, though. Let's do this, everybody. I thank y'all so much for hanging out with us this evening. Black Law student as well as myself. We just wanted to kind of talk about this topic, go over some highlights and some lowlights of the Biden stepping down address and answer. I'm telling you right now, Black Law student, just go ahead and clear your calendar. Keep your eye on the calendar. As soon as it's announced that he is going to go live, if he goes live in 10 minutes, please understand we're jumping back on. Okay. We're going to do a watch party. Just get yourself ready, man. Go get you some popcorn, go to the restroom, get something to drink. And just keep your eyes on it, because as soon, I'm going to go ahead and make the thumbnail now. As soon as we know when he's going to go live, it's going to happen. But I do want to look at, of course, we got the Secret Service case. We got the YSL motions. There's so much to talk about this week. And somewhere around this line.
24-hour news.
Say again?
24-hour news.
Bro, the DWC 24-hour news outlet. Absolutely. And somewhere around here, they're going to give us wind of who it is that's going to be the DNC presidential nominee. I don't think it's going to be Kamala. I'm starting to think, and I might have said earlier that I thought it was. I just don't think it is, especially when you consider that she's going to have to debate Trump. And that dude is salivating at the mouth. He is ready to debate Kamala.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Who can't they run?
They can't run Hillary Clinton. They can't run Barack Obama. They can't run Bernie Sanders.
Nope. Elizabeth Warren.
Oh, Elizabeth Warren. They can't run her. They can run some. They can run some. Because keep in mind another thing, and I've mentioned this during the RNC, that Trump picking a 39-year-old vice president running mate was strategic, because now everybody was looking at Joe's frailty, and they were kind of looking at Trump's as well. But now they know, like, oh, this guy, you got somebody who's much younger, almost 40 years younger than Trump. That's serious. So I'm thinking whoever they run, again, I've said this before, since they're the party of identity politics, they need to run somebody who's less than 50, who is, they're going to run on ethnicity. So it's going to be a person that's non-white and more likely going to be a woman. That's going to probably be who they pick. And if they do that, they're going to put themselves in a trick bag, because everybody's going to be like, well, you had Kamala Harris, and they're going to be upset. They're going to be out of their minds, mad about it. But I'm here to laugh at them at that point. But so I don't know so those are who they can't run, who can't beat Trump. So they're going to have to look at somebody like, could Newsom beat Trump? Absolutely not. All he's going to do, Trump, if they run Newsom, Trump would just campaign in California. Just campaign in California. That's it. And every barrio, every ghetto, every encampment, and talk with vets on the side of the Skid Row, it will be a mess if they run Gavin Newsom. It's a mess. So I think what it is the Democrats don't realize that they don't actually have a bench. They don't actually have a backup quarterback and a backup to the backup quarterback. Most professional football teams have 3 quarterbacks. They got the marquee name-bringing quarterback. They got a second and a third even quarterback. Now you realize now that they never had a bench, and therein is the problem. They haven't had a bench. And again,
I'm seeing on Twitter, people are saying Warnock or Abrams.
Please run Warnock. I beg you, please run Raphael Warnock. Oh my goodness. That will be some must-see shenanigans TV. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And most of you don't know, Raphael Warnock is a Morehouse graduate. He graduated a few years before me. I am a Morehouse graduate, class of 1999. Raphael Warnock is the quintessential bad example of what a Morehouse man is. So please run Warnock, because you want to lose. Like, you run Warnock, you want to lose. And I'm here for it. I'm here to watch all the chicanery. So, and then if they run Warnock and Abrams, I'm telling y'all again, this is the party of optics. They don't care about policy. They don't care about making your life better. They only care about what it looks like. Do they check enough boxes? And that's it. You got a single man who had a tumultuous divorce. You have a woman that's never been married, never been a mother. Those are 2 problematic statements. I know I'm not really everybody's not really on board with me about that, but I think there's a role to be played, and some we can dig through it. But my point is, for Stacey Abrams to be standing 10 toes down that women should delete their children in the womb, and she herself has never carried, to me that's a nasty look. And then for Raphael Warnock to lead and govern a nation, and you've only been a senator for 3 years, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is going to be fun. Please run Warnock. Yeah, and lots of commentary about them being divided, and I don't see how they're going to get unified behind. Yeah, I don't see how this is going to unify them. I don't see.
Yeah, I don't see how. I want to bet they're going to have to. They're going to have to pull a governor. Watch, I'm telling you, they're going to have to pull a governor from a swing state. Watch, they're going to have to pull a swing state.
A governor from a swing state. Okay.
Michigan, Pennsylvania. Watch, one of them. Josh Shapiro, Gretchen Whitmer.
But see, if they do that, they didn't put themselves in a trick bag, because what's going to be the problem? They already got Kamala Harris, and all the black bourgeoisie, the colored communists, the melanated Marxists are going to be having a fit if they pass over a quote unquote black woman and select a white man. It's going to be fireworks, and I'm here to watch it. Or they pick a white woman. I'm here to watch it. They are going to lose their ever-loving minds. But they put themselves in this trick bag by being the party of optics, being the party of DEI, box-checking optics. That's it. They don't care about whether or not policies. They don't care about, because I think you can make the case that Kamala shouldn't run. I think you're fine with that. But you ain't been, as my students used to say, you ain't been worried about this. So now why worry about it now? Run her. Run Kamala. I think Joe should have stayed, truth be told.
Yeah, I think he should just roll it out.
Y'all should just let it pass away on that. Y'all should have let it go on that. But because yeah.
Oh yeah, I agree with you.
I agree 100%. This is going to be wild, man. So that's what Twitter is saying? Twitter's crazy.
Yeah.
Twitter has its ups and downs, its good side and its bad side. and his moments of clarity and moments of complete and utter insanity. So we'll see what happens, man. Black law student, get out of here. Brother, I appreciate you, man. This has been a lot of fun. Everybody thank Black law student. Let's just real quick. Let's go. BLS in the chat. TBLS in the chat. Tell them thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. And everybody else that has. I see we had quite a few that were hanging out earlier. I do appreciate each and every one of you that came by, hit the like button and sat around and chatted with us. Thank you so much for this. We just really enjoy having these conversations and talking about these topics. And hopefully you enjoyed it and you found it edifying and something of value to you. We will be, again, I highly encourage you to please make sure that you have turned on notifications, because as soon as we know that the next shoe is going to drop, this is an octopus at this point. We don't know how many shoes are going to drop. But when the next shoe drops, I would love to have you all back in this chat talking about whatever it is and hearing your comments, so on and so forth. So I do thank you. As always, thank you so much to the moderators for dropping links and sending me things to post up. It means a lot. I really do appreciate all of you all. So I see lots of good kudos to you, Black law student. Thank you so much for your insight. Continue doing well, even though you're on a lame duck session in law school waiting to graduate. I love it. And so soon enough, we'll get you moved down here to Georgia and we'll start doing this stuff in person. That would be crazy,
maybe
man.
Maybe I will run for DA, Fulton County.
I mean, I don't know about my girl. I ain't heard from my girl in a minute. So, I mean, Kramer is very possible.
Oh, yeah. She's good too, though. She's good.
I agree. But, it is what it is. It might be Joe Manchin calling it. Okay. I see some people. You know what? So we will collect some different names as well, because I see some other names have scrolled up besides RFK and the Obama. So I see there's some new names that are popping up. So that's going to be interesting to see what names people are thinking could be it. And then, of course, we'll see who it actually is. So I appreciate each of y'all. Thank you so much, everybody. Let's have a fantabulous Friday. What is today? Sunday. Have a fantastic rest of the Sunday. Happy Lord's Day to you all. Have a great Monday tomorrow, and we're going to see you soon enough. Everybody, take care. Grace and peace, everybody.